Hey everyone, this is going to be a unique video. This is in preparation for the new Star Wars movie, Rise of the Skywalker. This episode 9 that's dropping this week. Today, we're about less than, or more than 24 hours away, for me anyway. I will see it the Friday night, the late show, opening night. And I thought I would talk a little bit about Star Wars going in and then talk about it again afterward. So this is the before video. I have only watched one trailer, the very first teaser that dropped many months ago. And I watched, I think, maybe one TV spot. But other than that, I've seen nothing. And in fact, if I've been in a movie and they've showed the trailer, I do this. I don't look at the screen. Because I want to be genuinely surprised by certain things. And I do this with some movies. I did it with Endgame. I did it with a couple other movies that maybe I'll go like this so I don't have to hear certain sounds, whatever it is. I'll just, I want to be surprised. So I understand there's a lot of spoilery stuff jumping off right now, actually, since the embargo lifted and people are allowed to share their reactions. There's a lot of stuff out there that, even if it's not spoilery per se, it's too suggestive for me right now. Some things, depends on what it is. I'll watch the trailer and I'll watch whatever it is. But this is something I feel like it's pretty big. And regardless of what your feelings are on this recent trilogy, it is cool to see them. I personally don't think the trilogy is necessary. I don't think we needed a new trilogy, but that's another conversation. Now that they're here, and this last one is coming up, I do want to see how it ends, and I want to be surprised when I do that. So I'm going with some friends, one of my dear friends from work, and a group of, actually a lot of her other connections. So we're all going to just go and have a Star Wars time this Friday. I'm looking forward to it. So my thoughts going in to the film, what do I think? I don't know if I'm so much excited as I'm more curious. Well, if I'm being honest, there's a certain degree of excitement. There is a little bit. This has been a big deal, and I'm curious to see how it ends. I'm excited to see what happens. I'm hoping that there will be less plot holes. Characters like Finn will have more agency. I was really disappointed, particularly with The Last Jedi, with how Finn was handled. A little bit in The Force Awakens too. Finn was set up so strongly. He had such a unique sort of arc in The Force Awakens, and that you wanted to see that built upon in The Last Jedi, and it didn't happen. So I'm hoping that in this film that happens. We get some substantive stuff from Finn. Likewise from Rose, we want some stuff with that character. Hopefully that stuff is strong as well. Of course, we want the Rey and Kylo Ren stuff is going to be sort of the key. My feeling is going in, we're going to have a lot of that, and that's really going to be sort of the glue that holds everything together in this film. Is my guess going in. I don't know. That could change. But I feel like that's been sort of set up from The Force Awakens, their connection, and what the potential for what that looks like. What else? I was telling my friend last week all this business about the Emperor and all that stuff. I really wish that was kept secret. If the Emperor is in fact back, hopefully that's fake. Well, it sounds like it's not fake. It's not fake, but whatever. I wish that's a big deal. The Emperor is a major character. Star Wars lore. Why would you let us know? I don't know. This goes back to what I've mentioned before about certain things needing to be marketed differently. If you're going to bring the Emperor back, there should be maybe there's other way to tease that than what was done in trailers and stuff. And then, really, if I'm being honest, frankly, why is the Emperor even? Why does he need to be in this new thing? Why are you continuously trying to find connections with the land? I don't think the Emperor is necessary for this story. I don't think you needed to do anything with any of the original characters from the original trilogy. This new trilogy should have been, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, this new trilogy should have been strictly new characters, with echoes of the original trilogy stuff in it. Anyway, that's my feeling. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with Lando. And part of me, I feel like they better have a good explanation for why he was not in The Force Awakens or The Last Jedi. For as close as the original group were at the end of Return of the Jedi, you better have a good explanation for why suddenly why he wasn't even asked to be a part of The Force Awakens. Why wasn't he even part of that? It'll be cool to see him, but I almost don't want to see him in this movie. But I just, I'm going to deal with it because he's in it, and we're going to see what that looks like. And they better not kill him. They better not kill him off. But whatever. If they do, we'll see. We'll see what they do. So Lando, I'm really curious about how they're going to handle Carrie Fisher, because part of me it's the same question that comes up whenever a major actor from a film passes away in the middle of production or before something is completed. Similarly, with you look at the Hunger Games movies with Philip Seymour Hoffman. He passed away in the middle of shooting. They weren't finished with the movies. Heath Ledger finished The Dark Knight, but he was working on other stuff on the way. After that, it's just like there's always this big question of what happens, and how those other projects are going to be tied up in a way that feels satisfying, and it doesn't feel cheap, and it doesn't undercut the importance of that actor and the character that they played. So I'm curious about how they're going to do that. And again, I feel like I'm going to rant a little bit about Carrie Fisher and Princess Leia, and what a missed opportunity the filmmakers had with this new trilogy with Leia. I haven't talked about this yet, I don't think in the video, but this will be probably another video about Leia and her Force-sensitive abilities, and how disappointing these new films were with regard to that. Last Jedi, we've seen, we saw an example of her use some Force abilities, and depending on who you are, it was either cool or it was weird or came out of nowhere. I'm in the middle of I'm of the camp of it came out of nowhere. Why all of a sudden she barely was able to use the Force right then, in a way that was, I don't know. She should have been. I wanted to see her do some Force stuff like Luke, even though she wasn't trained. She should still have some ability to do Force push things and sort of raw Force stuff. And just like you guys, they just missed the opportunity to make her a gangster. So I don't think we're going to get that, even with the unused footage they had from Force Awakens. I don't know how that's gonna work. I don't think they're gonna do it, but whatever. I have to accept the fact that the cinematic version of Princess Leia is not allowed to be, a Jedi gangster. It disappoints me, but I have to accept it. So curious about how they're going to handle Leia in this final chapter. What else? What's going to happen with the new trio: Poe, Finn, Rey, and Rose? What's going to happen with their dynamic? I don't want to see any stupid love triangle things. I feel like The Last Jedi tried to sort of set that up a little bit at the very end, and I hope they don't do that. I think that'll be that. We've seen that with the original trilogy. I don't want another one. You had some stuff suggested with Finn and Rey in The Force Awakens, and that was fairly consistent in The Last Jedi as far as where Finn was coming from, and that was cool. And of course, there's a new situation with Rose, so they're gonna have to deal with that. But then now Poe's back in the mix. So what's that gonna look like? Is he gonna be trying to hit on Rey, and then is Finn gonna get jealous, and then is Rose gonna get jealous because Finn doesn't like her like that? It's just I don't want to see that. But I'm gonna keep an open mind. This is my before reactions thoughts before I go see Rise of Skywalker. Letting you know that that's not what I want to see. So hopefully they do something with that is not whack, and we'll see what's going on. I'll be curious to see just how J.J. Abrams and his company, the group, his team handles this final installment. And as far as they'll be paying particular attention to the writing with regard to, which is to dialogue and just sort of how certain things are established, what the motifs are, character arcs, and all that type of stuff, and just how's that going to happen, and how is JJ and his team going to sort of connect things in a way from The Last Jedi to this? How will it line up? What else do I have to say? I don't know. I think that's all I have to say for now. I'm literally in the dark right now. I haven't read any reviews. I haven't looked at. Typically, sometimes with movies when they're just coming out, before I've seen them, I'll Rotten Tomatoes and see what the percentage is. I haven't done that. Talking to my friend about Twitter and all social media stuff. Dark. I'm going dark. I've been dark. I haven't been on Instagram. I haven't been on. If I'm online checking my email, sometimes I get emails about movie news, so I'll be sure I turn all the notifications off, and this is just what I'm doing because I don't want to have any sort of. Admittedly, I may have caught like a blurb online or a headline or something like that, but I immediately get rid of that. So not looking at any of that, and I'm going into The Rise of Skywalker with an open mind. I'm just getting this off my chest now because I wanted to have a before reaction, and we'll see what my after reaction is, and I'll let you guys know that when I get to that point. In the meantime, though, thank you for taking the time to watch this video and hear my thoughts. And if you got this far, I know there are a lot of other things happening right now. We're getting closer to Christmas. Christmas is next week, so there's probably a lot of other things you got going on than sitting down watching this video. But if you happen to be watching this video at this time, thank you. Alright, I'll be back with another video later. So in the meantime, I'm signing off. See ya.